We've all promised ourselves that we would start a new life on Monday. We buy a new notebook, make plans, and feel a sudden wave of energy believing that this time we will definitely succeed. But 2 days later, everything falls apart. Workouts are skipped, routines collapse, habits disappear, and motivation fades as quickly as it appeared. And again comes guilt, frustration, and the thought, why can't I just do it? But the truth is that this has nothing to do with weakness. It's psychology. When we say starting Monday, we create the illusion of a fresh beginning. The brain loves the idea of a clean slate. It's a small ritual that makes us feel like we're in control. But this control exists only in fantasy, because while we plan, we imagine a perfect version of ourselves. But when reality arrives with emotions, habits, and tiredness, everything becomes harder. The brain chooses the familiar, not the new. Even if the familiar things hurt us, the biggest mistake is trying to start perfectly. We want to change everything at once: food, sleep, workouts, work, relationships. But the mind cannot rebuild itself so fast. Any attempt to drastically change your life is interpreted as stress, and the brain protects you by triggering procrastination, doubt, and avoidance. This isn't sabotage, it's biology. New neural pathways require time, not promises. That's why we quit. Not because we're weak, but because we expect too much too fast. Another problem is that we tie change to a date instead of to ourselves. Monday becomes responsible. Holidays become responsible. New Year becomes responsible. Tomorrow becomes responsible. It's easier to blame timing than to accept responsibility. But when the date matters more than the action, nothing truly changes. There is no perfect moment. Any ordinary day is good enough to begin, even a random evening in the middle of the week. But there is an even deeper reason. We fear failure. When we start perfectly, we secretly tell ourselves, if I change, it must be all or nothing. And if something goes wrong even slightly, it feels like a disaster that ruins the whole plan. We were not taught to continue when things aren't ideal. We were taught that success is about flawless beginnings, but change isn't created by perfect starts. It's created by imperfect consistency. It's built on trying again even when you're tired, unmotivated, or annoyed. That's not inspiration, that's emotional skill. What's interesting is that every person already knows how to change. We just don't notice small steps because our brains focus on big goals. We imagine transformation as something loud and dramatic, but in reality, it's slow and quiet. It's built from tiny decisions that no one sees. One extra glass of water, one short stretch, one additional hour of sleep. These actions don't create excitement, but they build results. Small steps are what the brain perceives as safe, and they're the only steps that become real habits. We quit after 2 days because we try to jump higher than we can. We try to become a different person overnight. We confuse motivation with power. Motivation is only a spark. The real power is resilience, the ability to continue when conditions aren't perfect. That's not a feeling, it's a trained behavior. Starting a new life on Monday isn't wrong, but starting it too aggressively is a trap. If you want real change, the best day isn't Monday. It's the moment you take one tiny action right now. It may seem silly, small, insignificant, but new lives are built exactly from such steps: quiet, humble, consistent, and real.